Greeting, STEM's listeners. Today, auditory experience has been meticulously and to enhance your cognitive engagement and linguistic sophistications through the strategies of the lasers of the implementations of verbal. Wait, what was I saying? Oh no, I totally blank. Okay, take a deep breath. I wasn't sure if you're speaking English or casting a spell. Oh, I rehearsed that like 6 times. It sounds smarter in my head. Honestly, you could have just said, "Hey friends, today we're gonna help you sound smart in English without using big, scary words. Simple, clear, actually helpful." Yeah, okay, let's listen. Let's do it non-robotic way. Hey there, English learners. Welcome back to another episode of the English Sleep Podcast. Your go-to English podcast for learning in reels useful English with zero pressure and zero boring lessons. I'm Evan and I'm Aaron. And today's topic is there's something a lot of people scarcely worry about it. Worry about it. Yep. How do I sound smart in English if I don't know a bunch of big words? But honestly, it's not really about what you say, how you say it. Let's be real. Just throwing in fancy vocabulary doesn't actually make yourself smarter. Sometimes it just makes things more confusing. Or worse, robotics. Yeah, totally. Native speakers don't usually say, I'm experiencing emotional disturbance. They just say, I'm upset. So today we're sharing simple, powerful ways to sound confident, clear, and yes, smart in English without needing to pull our dictionaries every 5 seconds. And before we jump in, just remember, my dear, we have created free PDF for this episode. It's packed with all the key points, comprehension questions, and grammar practice to help you learn English faster. hmm You find the link in the description. Just download and follow along. It really helps you remember we talk about it today. And stick around till the end because Charles will chance for the vocabulary breakdown, which will make the trick is worse, way easier to remember. So let's break this down. What actually makes someone smart in English? If you not big vocabulary, it starts with something that sounds simple, but makes you huge difference. Point number one, clarity is power. Have you ever listened to someone who speaks clearly with simple words? But somehow everything they say just hits. You lean in. You understand every word. You trust them. That's the power of clarity. I know exactly what you mean. I once watched this motivational speaker. He didn't use fancy words at all. But the way he paused, the way he emphasized the right words, he said, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be present. And the whole room was silent. It gave me goosebumps. That's a perfect example. Clarity is about being slow or basic. It's about intentional speaking. You know what you're saying, why you're saying it, and you let each word land. And let's be honest, when English isn't your first language, it's so tempting to overcompensate by using big words. But most of the time, you just clutter the message. Yep, even native speakers get this wrong. Trying to sound smart often ends up sounds confusing. So instead of trying to sound precise, aim to sound understandable. That's such an important mindset. And hey, English learners, here's something simple you can try. Take it on a thought, something about your day, your plans, whatever your mind, and say it out loud in 10 words is less. It might feel a little awkward at first, but it really helps your brain practice being clear and direct. Keep doing it, and you notice your English and starting to feel sharper, smoother, and ways more natural. So now we'll talk about clarity. Let's move to something a lot of learners don't realize masters as just much, if not more, and that's your tone, right? This is one of those things we find under the radar. People spend too much time worrying about words they use, but forget that how you say something often matters way more than what you say. Totally. I used to think I had to use big and intellectual sound words to come across as smart, but one day I listened to someone explain a complicated topic using the calmest, clearest tone, and suddenly it's on click. I realized they sound smart because they sound in control. They sound inhuman. Exactly. There's a power in tone that we underestimate. Take the phrase, I understand. If you press it first flatly, you can sound cold, uninterested. But say it slowly, with warmth. I understand. And now it feels sincere. It feels like actually care. That's the beauty of tone. It can take simple sentence and make me meaningful. You don't need to be dramatic. You just need to be present and actually feel what you're saying. And here's the fun part. Most native speakers don't realize how much they use tone to communicate. It's why people can say the exact same words and only one of them sounds truthful, confident, and worth listening to. So, if you're English learners, you are not sure what to focus on next, start paying attention to your tone. Don't worry so much about big words. Focus on your pace, your energies, and how you want your listeners to feel. Alright, friends, here's something simple you can try right now. Pick an easy sentence like, I'm happy to help. Say it's one to way you normally work. Now trying again. Then this time, smile while you say it. And then you say it more times. You're sounding tired or maybe even bored. Feel the difference? The words didn't change, but the feeling totally did. That's the power of tone. Practice those everyday phrases, and you start to notice how your English sounds more natural, more expressive, and ways more confident. Mhm. So far, we talk about being clearer with your words and present with your tone. Now let's look at something that's quite makes your English sounds more professional, but I don't adding big vocabulary at all. Yeah, this is when a game changer, especially in the conversations. It's all about using the right connectors. Yep, small connectors or the phrases and hire your thoughts together smoothly. They make you sound organized, thoughtful, and honestly, I am not more fluent. Right, and the best part is you are not complicated at all. Think phrases like, on the other hand, that's being said. Let's break it down. Or, here's the thing. They are short, but it instantly you make sounds like someone who knows where they're going in a conversations. And without the sentences can be choppy or disconnected, even if your grammar is perfect. Smart speakers don't just throw ideas out; they guide people through them. That's where this connect do. It's like being a tour guide for our talks. You're not just speaking; you're taking the listeners with you. So, friends, try this. Choose three connectors. Maybe, first of all, on the other hand, and inclusion. Now, take a simple topic like your weekend and practice saying three short sentences using the phrase connect your idea. You'll be surprised how quickly your English starts sounding more polished and confident. One, you got clear voice, a strong tone, and smart connectors. Here's another trick instantly make you stand out. Asking better questions. Let's say something tell you about the trip. Instead of asking, did you like it? Try something like, what was your favorite part of the trip? And invite better answers. And it's make yourselves more not thoughtful. Exactly. And it's the same at work and class, even with the new friends. Good questions show curiosity. Curiosity also come across smarter. And you don't need complicated grammars to do this. Simple phrases like, why do you think that? Did I feel? Go a long way. They turn smart into real talk. Here's the great way to practice this, friends. After listening to any podcast or video, try to ask follow-up questions out loud, just like you're talking to the speaker. It's help you build a habit of thinking in English and train a better questions naturally. So sounding smarter English doesn't mean sounding complicated. It means being clear, being connected, and knowing how to lead great conversation without overwhelming your listeners. And you know what really smart communicators also do? They know what you speak. Alright, English sleeper. Here's something that might feel a little unexpected. One of the smartest things you can do when speaking English is not to say nothing at all. Not forever, of course, but just for a moment. Let's talk about the power of pausing. This is so underrated. I used to think pauses make me more unsure, like in they know what to say. But then I started noticing how the best speakers use pauses on purpose. They don't fill every second with words. They speak, then they stop, and you find yourself hanging on to every word. Right? Great speakers don't rush. They speak, then they pause. And when they speak again, you lean in because it feels important. Think about it. Have you ever heard someone say something simple like, that is overchanged everything for me? And then they stop just for a second. That's pause. It gives your words weight. It gives your brain seconds to process. And it shows you're in control. Exactly. The pause isn't just for a drama, it's for a connection. When you pause, you're saying to the listener, I'm not rushing. I trust you to keep listening. This matters. And when you learn English, that can be scary, right? Because you're afraid of awkward silence. But the truth is, the calm pause feels way more confidence than fast, nervous talking. So many language learners think fluency means speaking fast. But real fluency isn't speed, it's rhythm, it's timing. And that's including the brave little silence between sentences. I love that. Brave silence. Because sometimes it takes more courage to pause than to keep talking. But when you do, people listen differently. You hold space, you own your message. And here's the simple challenge for you, English sleepers. Pick a short paragraph, maybe a story, a journal entry, or podcast script. Now, not read out loud, but this time pause after every full sentence. Count to two before you speak again. It will feel so at first. Keep going. The goal isn't sound dramatic. It's to build control, clarity, and confidence in your rhythm. Over time, you notice something amazing. You stop rushing, and people will start listening more. Because here's the truth. Smart speakers don't talk more. They say just enough, and let silence do the rest. And that brings us to the end of today's tips. But before we wrap up, let's make sure the keywords from this episode really stick. Yeah, time for a challenge vocabulary breakdown, where she explains some of the most useful words we use today. Alright, English sleepers, let's hand it over to the challenge. Hey there, English sleepers. Let's take a moment to review some of the keywords and phrases heard into the episode so you can understand it clearly and start using confidently in your own conversations. Here we go. Goosebump, meaning small bumps on the skin caused by cold or strong emotions like fear, excitement, or inspiration. Example. That speaks were so powerful it gave me goosebumps. Overcompensate, meaning to try too hard to fix our weakness, usually by doing too much of the opposite. Example. She overcompensates for her nervousness by talking nonstop, flying under the radar, meaning to go unnoticed or avoided attention. Example. He prefers to fly under rather at work, but he gets if things done quietly. Intellectual, meaning relating to deeper thinking ideas or intelligence, someone who enjoys mental challenges. Example, she enjoys the intellectual conversations about history and culture. Underestimate, meaning to think something or someone is less capable or important than they really are. Example, don't underestimate how much small changes can impact your English skills. Curiosity, the strong desire to learn or know more. Example, his curiosity about languages led him to study three different ones. Overwhelm, meaning to feel like there's too much handle emotionally, mentally, or physically. Example, I felt overwhelmed by all the new vocabulary in my English book. Underrated, meaning not appreciated or valued as much as should be. Example, pausing while speaking is an underrated way to sound more confident. Intentional, meaning done with clear purpose or planning. Example, she made an intentional effort to improve pronunciation each day. Awkward, meaning uncomfortable or strange, especially in social situations. Example, the silence after his jokes was a bit awkward, but he laughed it off. That's for today breakdown. Keep using these words and phrases in real conversations. The more you use them, the more natural they feel. Now back to you, Aaron and Evan. Thanks, Charlotte. That was super helpful as always. And to all our listeners listening, thank you for joining us today. We hope these tips help you speak with more clarity, confidence, and calm. If you found the episode helpful, share with the friends who also English journey. And don't forget to grab your free PDF. It's linked in the description. We'll be back soon with more natural tips and friend conversations to help you speak smarter, not harder. Until then, keep learning, keep living, and don't forget to pause. See you next time on the English Sleep Podcast.